The die is cast.
Hey everybody, how's it going? My name is Constantine III, and today I want to talk to you guys about Vayne in 2017. Specifically, how is Vayne looking in Season 7? What has changed? How is she affected by all of this? What evolutions do we need to undergo as players in order to optimize our chances of success in Season 7? Let us get right the hell into it. So I think the best way to start this conversation is to talk about the ADC in 2017 LOL meme, because it does actually have a lot of merit, whether we like to admit it or not. First and foremost, the ADC role is, it's weaker than it used to be. Let's be entirely honest here. It is not as good as it used to be. So what has changed? What has made ADC weaker? Well, for us Vayne players, ADC is the same. Nothing has changed. Like, when I first saw the meme and everyone's like, oh my god, ADC is dead, it's the worst, I was genuinely confused. I mean, Vayne is permabanned in silver right now, so clearly it's not that bad, right? People at least think ADCs like Vayne are strong at the moment. So what's up? Why is everyone calling them trash? Well, it's mostly because these early game powerhouse ADCs have just evaporated. They're not in the game anymore. Lucian is not a character that you can pick in League of Legends anymore, because he's basically now a really shitty version of Vayne. He has about as good, slightly better, not significantly laning, and he has the same range in teamfights, which means that he's doing the same thing as Vayne with significantly lower DPS and survivability. Jhin is doing fine right now, but he's not doing super great at the moment. He's not such a bully as he once was, and thus things have changed for him as well. He really needs to wait until he gets around 2 items to really do that pop and damage that he used to do before the lethality changes happened. Now, how did lethality change everything? This is a much broader topic that I think is an interesting discussion of design and philosophy from Riot's perspective that I would love to talk about in a thinking man's league, but to keep it simple, what has happened is that lethality means that ADCs can't buy armor penetration early on, nor can they rune for it early on because it's really inefficient. You can't just stack armor penetration and pop a squishy target anymore that's not in the game. So that means that anyone like Lucian or Jhin that did happen to be super strong early game because these armor pen builds they're not there anymore. They're not a factor. They're just out of the sphere of influence in the bot lane, so to speak. So I know that is sad news for the guy who keeps wanting me to make a Lucian guide, but it's really good news for the rest of us who all play Vayne, because like an ecosystem, once you remove a creature from it, some thing that has filled a niche or a specific role in an environment, we can say a forest for example, if all of a sudden you took out the squirrel named Lucian...
I'm Greg Street, I'm one of the designers of League of Legends.
All of the nuts the squirrel used to eat are now just there, right? Nobody's using that resource, which means Vayne can come up and take those nuts for herself and fill the role that Lucian once was. Why did I pick squirrels and nuts? This is terrible. We're gonna go with it. It doesn't fucking matter. Get the idea of a ball sack out of your mind, you 14-year-old pervert. So with these lane bullies out of the way, besides Caitlyn, that means that late-game ADCs finally have a chance to do something in lane. And you're all like, that's such great, Constantine, that is wonderful news. Das gehört mir gut, ich liebe es. But it's a little bit more complicated than that. Because simultaneously, while there are no more lane bullies, huzzah, junglers have also gotten a lot more powerful. How did this happen? Riot elected, you know what we're gonna do, guys? You know what we're gonna do? We're going to increase the amount of experience and gold that junglers get in the jungle while simultaneously making it easier to kill. You feel me? And I know chickens are crazy powerful, but people have figured out routes where you just skip them for the most part unless you're playing like a good person who can clear them. Doesn't fucking matter. What matters is that all junglers can gank more often and they will have level leads. This isn't a thing anymore, but like junglers used to be able to gank bot lane at level 3 when the bot lane was still level 1. Like, that's what we're dealing with right now. Just a disproportionate amount of power is in a jungler's hands at the moment. ADC in 2017 is this catch-22 role. And by that I mean damned if you do, damned if you don't. If you choose one side of the coin, the other will fuck you over. Let me explain. So based on what I've told you so far, your logical conclusion, the solution to the problem of having a weak early game ADC might be obvious. You might think to yourself, well, Constantine, I'm just going to pick a late game ADC. I'm just going to pick Jinx. I'm just going to pick Tristana. And you could totally do that. But then how are you going to handle the early jungle pressure? How are you going to handle a Lee Sin getting on you at level 6 and one-shotting you? How are you going to deal with a Hecarim jumping on you? A lot of these late-game hyper-carry ADCs don't really have an answer for that. Vayne is probably the best one who can deal with junglers because of her condemn and her tumble to get away. I mean, Tristana's not bad either, but Tristana doesn't do any damage, and Jinx just gets eradicated in lane, and Twitch is alright, but if you don't position perfectly, you can just get one shot. You're looking at the list of ADCs, and you're like... What?
Please, if you could just spare us.
And it gets even worse, right? You may say, well, I'll ban Lee Sin. Well, then there's Hecarim. Well, I'll ban Hecarim. Well, then there's Vi. Well, then I'll ban Vi. Then there's Zac. There isn't an answer to these strong junglers for ADCs right now. Except for Stealer Vayne. As the famous expression goes, in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And this is no truer of a state than here. Vayne may have a weak early game. Vayne may take a while to power spike. Vayne may have a lot of problems. But in the land of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. And that is definitely what Vayne is right here. You can't have a good early game as an ADC anymore. It's just unrealistic with all these powerful junglers out there. You can't expect to win lane if the enemy jungler is putting pressure on you, which is going to happen a lot because they know bot lane is really weak and you're just going to get camped and it's bleh. So what you have to do is pick someone to where it doesn't matter how your early game goes. And all you can do is hope to have an impact in the late game. The thing you have to understand about ADC now is that nobody expects you to do anything, or at least they shouldn't expect you to do anything, before 2 or 3 items, depending on who you're playing. Which is why a lot of people think the role sucks. Your ability to impact the early game is laughably bad at best right now. What you are playing for is, okay guys, it's been 30 minutes, and neither side has made a decisive victory. I am here to break the tie. That's kind of what the role is right now. Maybe that's what Riot wants. I don't get that impression. I feel like they're going to change it soon. But right now, Vayne fits into that situation perfectly. Vayne has a sort of mini power spike before any other ADC in the game. Her tier 2 boots, BF sword, static shiv power spike, it's actually not that bad. Laughably and kind of crazy at the moment, it's one of the earlier power spikes compared to all the other ADCs in the game right now. Jhin doesn't really go crazy until he gets Infinity Edge Static Shiv. Twitch doesn't go crazy until he gets Hurricane Infinity Edge. Really, a lot of these meta picks need 2 items to do a lot. Vayne can kind of do more on less compared to these other guys. And that's what she's built to do a ton of damage. But there's a downside. And her name is Syndra. Or Victor, or Ziggs, or Mages at the moment, because in a cruel twist of fate, when one role got really powerful, the jungle, mid lane also got really, really powerful. We've all seen the clips of I'm a Cutie Pie and Sneaky getting literally one hit by a Syndra pushing R on them when they get close to a team fight.
I'm down at party. Oh, I missed the party.
It's gonna be like that birthday party you never invited me to.
Ah.
Seems like that kind of party. I don't see Sneaky anywhere.
And all of these mages can do the same thing in some capacity, some less ridiculous than others, but still. Getting close to a team fight, you're gonna get Vi ulted in one shot, you're gonna get Syndra E'd in one shot, you're gonna get jumped on by a Zac in one shot, Rengar is gonna one-shot you. Playing ADC right now is like using one of those really terrible showers that whenever you pull the nozzle slightly to the left, the tiniest bit, or slightly to the right, you're either freezing to death, not even remotely close to a team fight, not even doing anything, or literally scalding your face, being close enough to a Syndra to where you get absolutely destroyed. There is this tiny, itsy bitsy no man's land that you have to slip right into in order to actually do well as ADC. So the role is weaker and harder to play because of it. But you may be asking me, Constantine, can it be done? If I have accumulated enough skill, can I prosper as Vayne? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. It's tricky, and it's taken me a while to figure out. I was getting my ass kicked at the start of the season. I don't even want to show you the scores, because they're they're best left forgotten. But now I've won 6 games in a row with Vayne and ADC. I'm about to get promoted to Platinum 1. So, yeah, it's good. It's going great. So if you are good enough, you'll do fine. Do the Static Shiv, i.e. Warlord's Bloodlust build that I have in my Vayne guide that's been updated, by the way. I made a cheesy video announcing it, but I decided, fuck it, let's just do it in this video. And, yeah, that'll be all from me. I hope you guys found this useful in understanding what has happened to the lane. If you guys have any questions, like, hey, Constantine, you missed out on talking about this really important factor, you frickin' dunce, leave me a comment. And if you could, please like the video. That helps me get my videos viewed more by more people. That's how the algorithm works now, so you want to do your boy a solid. Hit the like button, please. Take it easy, guys. Have a good one. Thanks for watching.
Not when you hold me, but not when you.
This is it. To get here, I spent the $50 that I got from a German film contest that I won by getting first place. $150 of RP that I was given over Christmas. 50 of my own money I earned working in a restaurant. Totaling an amount of $250 worth of RP, taken from various sources. I'm not proud of what I've done. No. It's a different emotion. There's joy. Yes, but there too is shame. But I have played this champion for too long. And I have worked too hard. Now I can finally be Stealer Vayne. Forge 10 into exclusive Stealer Vayne skin. It is my birthright.